Are you following all the financial advice and still not seeing real wealth or freedom in your 40s? A few years ago, I discovered a secret that changed my life completely. You'll never be happy until you have the freedom to make your own choices. And that kind of freedom only happens when you have financial independence. My turning point was the moment I realized if I want that kind of freedom, I have to take full control of my finances. I had to learn how to earn better, manage smarter, and invest wisely. And here's the problem no one talks about. By the time you hit 40, the hustle starts to backfire. You're juggling kids, work, maybe caring for aging parents, and the advice you got in your 20s and 30s, well, it no longer fits. Waking up at 5 a.m. to grind, starting side hustles with zero strategy, budgeting your joy away, it's exhausting and it's not sustainable. I was there. I was burned out, plateaued, and wondering if wealth was just a marketing myth. So in today's video, I'm sharing my tiny habits that made me rich in my 40s. Yes, even if you're starting from zero, because you are living in a time where you can build a life that actually feels good, not just looks good on paper. And there's truly never been a better moment to take the reins. A lot of people avoid their finances, not because they are lazy, but because deep down they're either bored or scared. They'll say something, oh, it's just a bunch of numbers really, or they avoid checking their bank account entirely just because they don't want to face what's really going on. But here's the truth. Ignoring your money doesn't protect you from reality, it just keeps you stuck in it. And that boring spreadsheet, well, it's actually the most powerful tool you have. And when you have a few income sources, it's extremely important to keep an eye on it. And doing these tracking routines has helped me feel so much more in control of my money. And honestly, my money-related stress has gone down quite a lot because money isn't dull, it's freedom. It's what lets you book that spontaneous trip to London. It's how you move abroad, retire 20 years early, or just enjoy a slow morning with your cat and a cup of tea on your porch. But none of that happens if you're afraid to look at the numbers. So the first step to building that kind of life is clarity. And clarity comes from knowing exactly where you stand financially. No shame, no panic, just facts. So just open your bank app, check your spendings, and create a weekly routine to see how your money is doing. Next, most people try to figure everything out on their own. And I get it. We're all taught to be independent, to DIY our way through life. But here's the truth, I had to learn the hard way. Doing it alone is expensive. Mistakes cost money and time. I spent months spinning in circles, second-guessing myself and making decisions in the dark. And that slow progress, it cost me far more than the price of good advice. That's when I shifted really. Instead of guessing, I invested in knowledge intentionally. I hired experts, financial advisors, tax strategists, social media mentors, people who had already done exactly what I wanted to do and could show me how. It wasn't expense really, it was acceleration, because the fastest way to get rich isn't trying to figure out everything by yourself. It's learning from people who already know the way and then executing with clarity. Now, anytime I want to get ahead in something, I don't waste time anymore. I just buy the knowledge and I take action. Now, here's the deeper layer of this. I didn't grow up with this mindset. In my family, like in so many others, money was a taboo topic. We didn't talk about income or investments, and becoming wealthy wasn't just rare, it was quietly judged. Success was defined by academic achievements, respectability, and safe jobs, not by financial freedom. I had to unlearn a lot to build the life I live now. So I made a conscious decision. I surrounded myself with people who had built wealth. I studied how they made decisions, how they spent, how they thought about money. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned, it's okay to spend without guilt, without anxiety, especially when it aligns with your bigger vision. And if you're ready to take your first step toward financial freedom and building your own digital income stream, I've created something very special just for you. You can download your free practical guide to passive income. It's beginner friendly and it will help you to start your passive income journey. The link in the description down below. Now, one of the biggest shifts I made in my financial life was becoming extremely intentional about who I ask for financial advice from. Let's be real for a moment. We all tend to turn to the people closest to us for guidance. Friends, family, maybe that one opinionated co-worker who always has something to say. But here's the truth. Just because someone loves you doesn't mean they're qualified to guide your financial future. Why would I take money advice from someone who isn't living the kind of financial life I aspire to? Most people give advice based on their own limitations, their fears, and their personal experience, which makes total sense, but it can also be incredibly limiting. For example, if someone has only ever worked a traditional 9 to 5 job and never taken a risk in their life, they're probably going to look at online businesses and say, oh, that's crazy. And yet, here I am, running a 6-figure business entirely online. That's when I made myself a promise. I will only take financial advice from people who have the results I want. If I'm looking to buy an investment property, I'm not going to call my friends who've been thinking about investing for 5 years but haven't made a move. I'm reaching out to someone who's already bought, managed, and profited from real estate. And if I want to grow a YouTube channel, I'm not asking my cousin who rolls their eyes at influencers. I'm investing in a course from someone who's already doing it successfully. Same with money. Asking for advice from the right people is the difference between spinning in self-doubt for years or moving forward with clarity and confidence. And once I understood that money isn't just something you earn and spend, but something that can actually work for you, everything changed. Because the real magic happens when you start putting your money into things that generate more money. Dividend-paying stocks, bonds, real estate, high-yield saving accounts, assets that keep growing whether you're working or not. And when you reinvest those returns, that's when you start being real, lasting wealth. And once that clicked, I started making super intentional choices about how I spent every single dollar. And indeed, for several years, I lived below my means on purpose, not to punish myself, but to free up as much money as I could to invest. And let me tell you, that mindset was a game changer. That's how I built my wealth, not through luck, not through guessing, but by making smart, strategic choices over and over again. And believe me, you can do the same. One of the biggest upgrades I made in both my business and my personal life was learning to let go and delegate. For the longest time, I was doing it all by myself, editing videos at midnight, answering support emails while eating dinner, even scrubbing my apartment floors on weekends while recovering after 2 pregnancies and raising my toddlers. And honestly, I thought I was saving money, but what I was doing was draining my energy and undervaluing my time. Here's what finally clicked for me. As my income grew, so did the value of my time. Every hour I spent doing a $10 task when I could have been doing something that brought in 100 or more was actually costing me money. And the truth is, there are people out there who are amazing at the things I used to struggle with. Their hourly rate is lower and they get it done better and faster. So I started outsourcing, because if I can spend those hours focused on revenue generating work, or better yet, recharging so I don't burn out, why wouldn't I? Let's be real, the more you earn, the more valuable your time becomes. So you've got to start treating it that way. Most people, when they want to earn more, they immediately think, I need a raise, or maybe I should take on another client, or I guess I'll pick up another job. And yes, those are valid steps, but there's one big problem. You're still trading your time for money and you only have 24 hours a day. That's when I realized that real financial freedom is about uncoupling your income from your hours. I wanted to build streams of income that would keep flowing, whether I was working, sleeping, traveling, or being in nature without any internet at all. And here is what some of those income streams look like for me. Rental property that generate monthly cash flow, dividend-paying stocks and government bonds that pay me just for owning them, digital products, my hardcover book, my ebook, my online course that sell while I sleep, and of course a YouTube channel that earns through AdSense and brand sponsorships. Now, I know someone's going to say passive income isn't really passive. And sure, I won't lie to you, these things take time, energy, and a lot of work up front, but once they're set up, they keep working even when I'm not. Let me say this a little bit louder for the women in the back. Most people aren't struggling because they're lazy. They're struggling because they are undercharging. We tend to lowball our rates, hesitate to raise prices, or feel guilty asking for what we're worth. And you know who loves that? Bargain hunters, who drain your energy, ghost the second they find a cheaper option, and never value your work the way you deserve. Here is what changed everything for me: building a personal brand. That's how you attract aligned, high quality clients who want to work with you specifically, not just anyone offering the same service at a lower price. And when you show up online with your voice, your story, and your expertise, you build trust, you stand out, you raise your value. In today's world, if you're not showing up on social media, your business is invisible. Harsh but true. No exposure means fewer clients, lower prices, and the fast track to burnout. So please charge your worth. Delegate, build income that doesn't depend on your daily hustle, and stop hiding. You don't need to work harder. You need to work smarter and more intentionally. Trust me, I've been on both sides of that story. If the last few years have shown us anything, it's this: relying on just one source of income is like building your house on sand. The secure jobs we once trusted, they're disappearing faster than ever. Layoffs are everywhere, even from companies we thought were rock solid. AI is reshaping the job market, and thousands of people are waking up to find their roles replaced with no plan B. That's why I believe now more than ever we all need to take full ownership of our income. That means diversifying where your money comes from, so no matter what happens in the world, you still got something flowing in. These aren't dramatic life-altering moves, but trust me, these tiny smart habits stack up and they change your financial life. And if you're wondering, no, I didn't wake up one morning with financial freedom waiting at my doorstep. I built it brick by brick. Little choices, small shifts, consistent action. That's what made the difference. And if you're ready to take your first step toward financial freedom and building your own digital income stream, I've created something just for you. You can download your practical guide to passive income right now completely free. The link in the description down below. So tell me, what habit or idea surprised you the most? Which one made you say, wow, I really need to do that? I'd love to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going. You've got this. And if no one told you lately, you're doing better than you think. Now, click on this video right here and let's continue leveling up together.